We are welcoming Joshua Josue to the show tonight, and we're very thrilled to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you so
Oh,
much for joining.
thank you for having me.
Yes, tell us where you're coming to us from tonight.
This is my little recording studio in Portland, Oregon.
Very
Beautiful.
cool. Very cool. Portland is a fun city. I've been there one time. Love to go back.
It's beautiful out here.
So
Absolutely.
we know that the new album just came out. Tell us all about it and how it came to be.
So I recorded this album out near Joshua Tree. Um, and I'd been writing the songs for a couple years. I had spent a lot of time in Central America and Mexico and just trying to get lost down there. And I would journal, I'd write short stories, uh, parts of songs, and then I decided I wanted to record an album. So I reached out to the musicians that ended up being on this album, and everyone agreed to do this. And we all met out in the middle of the Mojave in this solar-powered recording studio um, near Joshua Tree.
Wow. What a neat
And
experience.
yeah, and we spent I think we spent 10 days recording the album.
Cool. Tell us
Are
the
you
name.
gonna? Oh, the name of the album is Beneath the Sand, and that's the title track off the record. And yeah, I wrote that song with Ben Rice and Rolly Sally.
Very, very cool.
What were you going to ask?
Oh, I was going to ask if you edit this at all, as I say a lot.
Oh,
Yes, yes.
Yes, we do.
No worries. Yes.
Because I don't like to listen to myself laugh really loudly, so I do a lot of editing.
All right.
No worries.
Yes.
Tell us about how you got started in a career as a musician.
So I always really loved music, and when I was a kid, I saw the movie La Bamba, and I saw the music video for it. And at the time, I hadn't ever really seen Latinos portrayed on TV and the movies in a real positive light. They always got a bit role as a drug dealer or a guy in a gang. So I saw the music video for La Bamba, and Los Lobos was on there, and clips from the movie. And I felt butterflies in my stomach, and I had to go see the movie. So I went and I saw the movie, and the Richie Valens story inspired me to buy a guitar. And at that time, I mean, I wanted to be like Richie Valens. That was, as a kid, that's what I wanted to do. And I really couldn't play other people's songs on guitar. I just wasn't good enough to do it. So that's why I started writing music. Was I felt like, okay, I know the D chord and I know the G chord. How far can I go with those two chords and try and write a song?
I love
So that,
that. Well,
That's
it's two chords in the truth in your world.
yeah.
yeah, well,
Right.
Woody Guthrie used to say, if you're playing more than two chords, you're just showing off.
That's perfect. I love it.
Love that. Okay, so we know that you have songs both in Spanish and English. What's the difference in your writing process for each of those, if anything?
I don't know if there's much of a difference in the writing process. I do find it easier to write in Spanish. I feel like there's a cadence to that language that's a little bit different that makes it easier to write, and some of the rhyming is a little bit easier if I want to have a rhyme in a song. I like writing in both languages because I feel like I can convey some things in one language better than another. And it's kind of liberating for me because being a Mexican American Latino guy, I grew up not speaking Spanish. And I caught a lot of flack from other Latinos, this kind of prejudice where people would ask me, they'd speak to me in Spanish and I couldn't respond. And I always felt very inadequate about that. And people would ask me, why don't you speak Spanish? And I'd say, well, my grandmother didn't want us to learn Spanish. So some years ago, I moved back to Mexico, ended up with a girlfriend that didn't speak English, and I learned Spanish and joined a band in Guadalajara and
Wow.
started writing music, yeah, in Spanish.
So I'm sure you picked it up a lot faster being encultured
Yes.
in the country.
Oh, absolutely. I tried to learn it in school. I took about 3 years here in the States, and I thought, oh, when I get to Mexico, I'll be pretty good. But I couldn't speak or understand much of anything until I
Yes.
just started having friends that were native speakers.
Totally understand that because I took Spanish for
Yeah.
four years in high school and then 2 years in college, and you
Yeah,
just don't learn the conversational way of speaking. And I'm an
right.
interpreter into ASL, American Sign Language,
Oh,
and you just
why?
have to
Oh,
immerse yourself just
Yeah.
like you did.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
totally get it.
Wow. That's very cool.
So when you're writing, do you write lyrics first or do you do melody first or does it change with each song?
It changes with each song. So I carry around a notebook with me, and that I'll write lyrics in or things that I think are interesting. And I'm not a very diligent songwriter. I know a lot of people who make it a practice and do it every day. I'm kind of lazy and I end up writing when I have to. So for this album, I had bits and pieces written, but I booked the recording time and got the everyone lined up to record. And my partner asked me if she says, "Do you have any songs written?" Excuse me,
Okay.
my dog's barking. Hey, Bogey.
Oh, it's a
Oh.
We can't
So
hear it at all.
oh, you can't hear it. Okay,
Nope.
he has a song on the record, Bogart and Me. That's one of the songs. Now
Oh,
he's
I
barking
love
over
it.
there. So she had asked me, "Do you have any songs written?" And I said no. And she says, "Well, you're supposed to be recording in 2 months." And I do very well writing under pressure, but other than that, I can be a bit lazy. So I'll have lyrics written. Sometimes I take the guitar and I just start playing chords and making nonsense sentences and sounds, and then something starts to come out. And I feel like I almost feel like I don't even write songs. I think that if you just sit back, I think the universe has like somewhere all the songs live somewhere in the universe. And if you're quiet, if you listen for the universe, it will give you what it needs to give you. And that's how I feel like my songwriting process happens. Is I do work at it, but I also feel like sometimes it's just listening. And I think
Mhm.
what needs to be said will be said.
I love that.
I do too,
That's
because I strongly believe in listening to the universe. And
yeah.
so I love that.
And we're also lazy with our songwriting, so we totally understand. Yeah. I just feel like I want to write when it comes to me. I don't want to, yeah, be the person that sits down. And usually it comes to me when I'm in the car.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's really, it's really
I
good.
have written songs in the car as well.
Isn't that funny? I don't know what that is, but
So you just finished this album. What are you currently working on, or what's next?
So I'm currently working on promoting this record, which once it feels like you put all this work into an album, you spend all the time recording it, getting it pressed, and you think, all right, it's like I finally got there. And then you realize, oh, there's a whole bunch more work to do. There's promotion, there's going on the road. So I'm currently promoting this record, but I do have a project coming up in which in February I'm releasing another record that's mostly sort of covers. I do a tribute to Richie Valens and Buddy Holly, and I perform that in around the Northwest every year. And this year, we're recording an album of covers, but the covers are both Richie and Buddy had songs that they did not complete when they died in the plane crash.
Oh,
So
wow.
I've decided to sit down and complete 8 songs, 4 of them by Richie and 4 of them by Buddy Holly, and complete those songs that they never had a chance to finish. And then I'm going to also add a few songs that I wrote that were inspired by both Richie Valens and Buddy Holly on this upcoming record.
Oh,
that's so cool.
that is really cool.
Yeah.
That's such a neat project. And what an honor to, have their voices come back to life. Do
Yeah.
you have to get, this is just my own curiosity, but do you have to get like rights to that? Or how does
Yes.
that work? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So I have to reach out to the copyright owner, the publisher, and
Mhm.
which is for Buddy Holly, it's Paul McCartney. He owns all of Buddy. He owns the Buddy Holly catalog. Um, but I have to reach out through the channels to get the publishing rights to be able to release it online and also to record to put it on vinyl or CD. Um,
Yeah.
so they get a percentage of it and some money up front before I even start working on it.
Did
Yeah.
did either or did any of the songs were they all lyrics? Did they have music already?
So they had lyrics and music. Buddy Holly, before he died in the plane crash, he had a tape recorder and he recorded about 17 songs in his apartment in New York. And some of those songs, his producer Norman Petty added some instruments to it and released some of those songs, but I don't think they were done in a way that would have made Buddy Holly happy. They made his
Hmm.
producer happy. And Richie Valens had recorded some parts of songs, and that might they're about 45 seconds to 1 minute long each, but he never finished them up. They're one of them has two verses and one of them has one verse and a chorus. So they're bits and pieces. So I'm doing
That's,
my best to, I don't know, honor them
Oh,
in the way
yes.
I
that's
write it.
I'm so looking forward
I
to
am
that. I
too.
can't wait. I love Buddy Holly and Richie Valens. I,
Yeah.
I really loved La Bamba myself.
I think we saw it maybe 6 times
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
So I totally get where your love comes from for
Yes,
that.
and you're going back to your roots, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So for folks who have not been able to have the pleasure to hear you yet, how would you describe your music and your sound?
So I call it Chicano rock. And I've started using that because I feel like my music is a little, I was having trouble putting it into a category. So I thought, hey, that fits. So it's Americana roots music. And it is also in Spanish. So it's influenced by Buddy Holly, Johnny Cash, early rock and roll, but also inspired by Los Tigres del Norte, Vicente Fernandez, Arosa Silencio, some of the classic Mexican bands and Spanish bands. So, but it is roots music, I would suppose. It's Americana. I don't know. It's so hard to
Yeah,
categorize.
it is.
Yes, it is. Okay, so I know you said you were a lazy writer, but if you get stuck writing,
Uh-huh.
what's your way to get out of it? How do you get unstuck?
Oh, wow. If I knew the answer to that, I would be less stressed when I'm writing songs. I think really what it is sometimes I just need to walk away from it,
Hmm.
and sometimes walk away from it for just a cup of coffee, and sometimes it's walk away from it for there are songs I've walked away for years, and then I come back to it and it makes sense. And I think it's that listening to the universe because I think sometimes I get stuck because I'm trying to push the song in a direction that it doesn't want to go. And it's subtly telling me, you're not doing this right, Joshua. Like, just
Come
listen
back
and
to
I'll
it.
tell you,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yes, come back to it when the universe is speaking to
And
you
it's,
about it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
Do you have a favorite one on the new album?
Oh, wow. That's like,
It's
who's
like
your
picking a
favorite
favorite child.
child? Right, right, right. Um, wow. No, I
And I'm sure
really
it
like
changes.
yeah, I like them all. Beneath the Sand, the title track on it holds a pretty special place in my heart. And that was one that I didn't intend on being on the album. I didn't have it written all the way when I went to the studio. And so, and I didn't even know what that song was going to be about. That song, again, that just happened. And the way it happened was the night before I was flying out to the recording session, to one of the recording sessions, myself and the rhythm and somewhat lead guitar player on the album, Ben Rice, who's a wonderful musician here in Portland and a great songwriter. He and I sat in his living room, and we were just playing chords, playing the chords to the song, and we were saying random things. And I would say at one point, I was saying, I just feel this is the desert. Like everything we've been writing about is desert themed. And he's like, well, what do you see in the desert? And I said, I don't know. I'm looking up and I see a sign out in the distance. Maybe it's a motel sign. And Ben says, well, what's the opposite of looking up at that sign? I said, I don't know, down in the sand, beneath the sand. So we came up with that line, but I didn't know what it meant. We started writing lyrics, and lots of lyrics were coming to us, but we got to the recording studio, and the bass player of the on this session was Rolly Sally, who's the bass player for the Chris Isaac band, and he wrote this wonderful song called "Killin' the Blues" that John Prine recorded and Alison Krauss and Robert Plant did. So that day I asked Rolly, I said, Ben and I started a song last night, and I'm not really sure where it's going. Would you help us with it? He said, yeah. So we sat in this cabin after the recording studio and drank some beer, and he helped us finish the song. And it ended up being one of the most touching songs on the record and one of the most touching songs to me because as I was writing lyrics, I didn't realize that, I've been processing the death of somebody that I really loved that happened unexpectedly several years ago, which was a catalyst that sent me to Central America to just disappear down there. And we sat in that cabin and Rolly was just saying, just sing what you're feeling. What's in your heart? And I didn't even think I was mourning at that time, but then these words started coming out and Rolly is writing them down and helped me put them into the verse chorus structure. And that night we came up with a song that really encapsulates the feelings of this loss I had. It was when my father died unexpectedly. And there were so many emotions that I had not processed. And I didn't sit down to try and process those emotions. I didn't sit down to try and write about what the mourning process was. But as we sat in that cabin and Rolly and Ben just inspired me to sing whatever was coming, whatever was buried down in there. This beautiful song about grief and overcoming grief and moving forward in life came out of seemingly nowhere. And that song, we recorded it. I loved it. And then the first time I tried to play it on stage or did play it on stage, I just wept as I sang it because I didn't
Oh,
realize I actually, without knowing it, wrote a song about the loss of my father and then meeting my partner and moving on in life. So
that
Wow.
is like,
that's
that's definitely from the universe.
Yeah.
That sounds like it was meant to be and just some kind of intervention from the universe. I loved that.
Oh, I do too. I have goosebumps now. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, here's one. If you're not doing music, what are you doing? Oh, hi, puppy. You're
That is
beautiful.
that is Bogart. So
Hi, Bogart.
on a quick side note, there's a song called Bogart and Me, and I'm heading out to record this record, and I know I'm going to be recording with my heroes, which are, Rolly Sally and Herschel Yadovitz from the Chris Isaac Band, Mitch Marine from Dwight Yoakam's band. We got Steve Berlin from Los Lobos and Joel Guzman from Paul
Oh,
Simon's
wow.
band. And I'm just completely nervous, and I'm heading out into the desert for this recording session, and I mean, at nighttime, I'm not sleeping. So I'm just like, are these guys really going to walk in the studio and record with me? And I had Bogart with me. And that was one of those songs where I sat down and in about 10 minutes, I had the guitar and I just started writing these lyrics and playing. And the song on the album, Bogart and Me, was written beginning to end in about 10 to 11 minutes. And it's one of my favorite ones. And so that's
Oh,
Bogart. You can see him back there. So
yay.
Bogart,
I, I,
you're a beauty.
I apologize. What was the last question before I
Oh,
went
no,
off the
that's
rails?
okay. Dogs are more important. No, my question is, if you're not doing music, where would we find you?
Oh,
Like to do?
um, so I do a handful of things. I do have a day job and I work as a photographer and do video production. A lot of the photography I do is architectural photography. I do a lot of photography of other musicians and make videos for other musicians. Um, I go out on the road with the artist Ben Rice, who I was mentioning earlier. He's been quite successful, and I go out on the road with a blues artist named Curtis Salgado. He was the inspiration for the Blues Brothers movie, and
Wow.
I think he's 71 now, and he's still touring the world and rocking it. And on a side note, that's how I met Ben Rice, who played on my album, was a songwriting session with Curtis Salgado for his last record. So Ben and I were writing a song, and that record made it on the Billboard Blues charts, #6. Just a plug to Curtis there.
Hey.
So I met Ben, and that's how he ended up on the record. But so if I'm not out playing music, I'm either taking pictures or I'm out with other artists working as their photographer, videographer, driver, whatever needs to be done.
All encompassing of music. I think
Yes.
that's amazing.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to ask you our 4 questions that we ask everybody that comes on the show.
Okay.
The first is what was your first gig and what is your
Uh-huh.
favorite gig so far?
Wow.
A
Okay, so
two-parter.
so the first gig was I was about 14 in Eugene, Oregon, and I was skipping school with a friend of mine, and we had our guitars, and we used to just skip school and go play our guitars. So we ended up at the coffee shop at Smith Family Bookstore, and we had our guitars, and they had a stage up there with a microphone, and I'd seen people play, but I had not performed there. So I asked them, is it okay if we play our guitars? And they said we could play for 45 minutes. So we got up and we played, and some of the songs that we had written and also some Beatles songs. So we did a 45-minute set, and then they gave us $20. And we were like, oh my God, we got money. We played music and we got money. And so then
How
I was hooked.
I was just gonna say, and then you were hooked. That's great.
Yeah.
Have you had a
My
favorite gig so far?
my favorite game. Well, gosh, there's a lot of them. So I've been listening to your podcast and
Oh,
I've heard people talk about their favorite gig, and I was talking with my partner. It's like, what's my favorite gig? I like so many of them, you know? Um, so what, like my favorite gig, I think, so one of my favorite gigs just happened, and that was my record release
Oh,
show.
cool.
And that was at the Mission Theater here in Portland, Oregon. And one of the really what I mean, it was a wonderful show all around. The audience was great, the room's great. But as I was saying, one of my inspirations for music was La Bamba and the band Los Lobos and Richie Valens. So last week, Steve Berlin from Los Lobos came to my record release, and
Oh,
he
how
brought his
cool.
saxophone, and he played the show with us. And then at the encore of the show, I asked him, "Is it weird if we play a couple Richie Valens songs?" Because I know he does those with Los Lobos, and he's like, "Yeah, let's do it." So we did a handful of Richie Valens songs, and that felt pretty special to share the stage with one of my childhood heroes, and my
Yeah.
mom was there to see it, so that made me feel really special too.
Bucket list
Sweet.
check.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you kind of already touched on this a little bit, but as far as influences go, you told us Los Lobos and Richie Valens. Who else would you add to that list?
Johnny Cash, Vicente Fernandez, um, the classics, Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones. I love all those guys. John Prine, Chris Isaac. There's so many. It's like my mind goes blank when
No, it's
I know
when this
it's hard
happens. But
to think, and
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure
But
they
those are,
changed.
I mean, I grew up listening to Social Distortion and SoCal Punk. I really liked a lot of that stuff. Operation Ivy,
oh yeah.
Rancid. I liked a lot of that.
It's so funny how
Us too.
eclectic. Us too. Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
it's so eclectic. Everybody always has answers that go, range from one genre to everything. I love to hear that.
I do too. I do too. Okay, what are you listening to currently on repeat?
Um, I've been listening to the new Hermanos Gutierrez album, Sonido Cósmico, and they've got these real desert guitar sounds. Like I just, I'm a big fan of Ennio Morricone, the composer for the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly movies, the
Oh
spaghetti Western movies. So I
yeah.
love that. And Hermanos Gutierrez, they do a lot of that style of music, and similar to Calexico and Federale. So I've been listening to that a lot. I've always got Vicente Fernandez, his record Para Siempre on repeat. That's a favorite of mine. So I listen to a lot of Spanish music or music in Spanish, and
Very nice.
Yes.
That opens my mind to a lot more. We always ask this question so that we can get more ideas
That's
of what
right.
to listen to. So appreciate that.
yeah.
Well,
Add to our
yes, we always
playlist.
we're like, let's write these down. I love it. Okay, it's you.
Oh, it's me. What advice would you give to new songwriters and or musicians?
Um, do it because you love it. Don't do it for fame or money, because those come and go and you might not get either. But do it because you love it, and that's the only reason to do it, I think, is, and for writing songs, read a lot of books, read the classics, Hemingway, um, Charles Bukowski, just read Henry Rollins, get in the
Yeah.
van. But yeah, read, listen, and just keep doing it, because there's no right or wrong way to do it. And, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I've been listening to your podcast, and I was a little bit nervous because you have so many good songwriters on your show. And it's like, oh my goodness, I'm going to come in here and be like, you know, I don't know, feeling
No, this has
inadequate
been
or
great.
something, you know.
Yes,
Not at all.
love
We have
when you.
been blessed.
Yes,
to
we
have,
absolutely.
yes, so many people, including you. So we
Yes.
Thank you
very
so much. Thank you.
yes.
Okay, it's time for your shameless plug. Tell us where we can find you, your website, anything social media, Patreon, Bandcamp, any of that stuff that you might have.
Okay. So, I know my last name, Josue, is a little bit, might be hard to spell. So I made this kind of like bypass. If you go to labambajosh.com, you will get to my website. It will take
Oh,
you
that's
right there.
fantastic.
Um, but, Joshua Josue Music, I'm on Instagram, and I do like, I'd love to hear from anybody on Instagram. If you can't find it on Instagram, head over to my website and there's a link there. But I like getting messages from people. I always love talking with people after the shows, so that's great. And if you'd like to buy my record, the easiest place to get it right now, if you don't live in Portland, is on electricchololandrecords.com.
Oh, very cool.
So
Okay.
yeah, so you can purchase it there.
Excellent. Yay. Well, thank you so much. This has been so much fun.
Yes.
Learned a
Thank
lot.
you.
We've laughed.
We got to
I
see
love
your
it.
puppy. We just
Yes.
love it.
Yeah. I'm
Well, thank you so
excited
much for
the-
having me. This is great.
Yes. I'm excited for the new album. Are you touring too then?
Right now we're staying pretty much in the Pacific Northwest. We play throughout Oregon, Washington, and Idaho. I would really love in the coming year to be able to do some more national tours, but I think to do that, I need to be opening for a bigger act. This is my debut album. The record label I'm with is a very small record label here in Portland. So we're just trying to get some traction. Oh, but I do have two shows coming up. I'm playing in Bodrum, Bodrum and Istanbul, Turkey next week.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, so I fly out tomorrow.
Oh my
I
gosh.
haven't posted the shows on my website, so I want to get in the countries. I'm not sure if my visas, so
Yeah. Yes.
we'll
Absolutely.
post
my
we'll
gosh.
post those shows when the plane touches down.
Once you're there,
Yes.
that's right.
Well,
Oh my gosh.
we actually
Safe
have a
travel.
niece that lives in Oregon, so we'll
Yes.
send her to your local show. She's
Yeah. She's in
Awesome.
Corvallis.
Corvallis right now. Yep.
Corvallis, very nice.
And she's fluent in Spanish too. She actually
Awesome.
is.
She did the same thing. She went down to Central America and just immersed herself and
Oh,
just
wow.
learned that way for like 6 months. She was like, I'm just going to learn. So
Yes,
very
very
Awesome.
cool.
Awesome.
Well, thanks again, Josh.